cracking? This is No Shame from the Always Into Something Squid Eyed. Hey, and you just up here chilling with the 72 Entertainment Group. You know where to get us, YouTube or other podcast functionalities. Can you dig it?
Welcome to Unwind the Talk Show. We are your hosts, Gab
and Steph. During each and every episode, Steph and I will cover topics such as aliens, spirituality, relationships, motherhood. It's actually a wide variety of topics. Steph is more of a...
I don't know what I am.
She's a funny person. Free spirit, for sure. And I am more reserved. So you'll definitely...
Responsible.
That too. You'll be getting different
Smart.
perspectives.
Pretty.
Stop. Thanks.
Stop.
Thanks. Thank you for tuning in. To unwind means to let go of whatever's on my mind.
Unwind to me kind of means like the cold beer at the end of a long day or a nice glass of wine.
During our first episode, we're actually having a cup of coffee. Steph and I will be talking about life during COVID. COVID has affected millions of people across the globe. Many lives were lost. This year was definitely an eye-opener.
You know what's crazy is that no one could actually say that they have ever gone through this before. So it's like everyone's first time, actually.
That's actually not true. There's a...
Spanish flu.
Maybe.
Maybe what?
If someone's 100 years old, they've lived through the Spanish flu.
I'm not good at math, so no.
How has COVID affected you?
Overall?
I know that it affected you in your search for a job. Times got really difficult, and you were without a job for about 3 months?
2 months.
2 months.
Yeah.
How has that affected you?
Well, I left my former job, which was... We're not going to talk about it, but I left there July, and then I work in the serving industry. So, I mean, that was such a good industry to make money, and I can make money daily. But it's gotten so bad, especially in Vegas. The kind of crowd we've gotten has not been the best. I believe that you could book a room for $30 a night. Now, I'm not talking about, like, those Holiday Inn. I'm talking about, like, you could book at Caesars for $30. Mm-hmm. What you could have gotten at Hooters.
Wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, you got some of the worst people, which means, like, you would get tabs that were, like, $400. They would leave you $5. And it's still kind of like, you still have to pay out on that. You have to pay your bartender, you have to pay your busser, and you have to pay your runner. So that money is actually coming out of your pocket because they fucked you over. So, I mean, as far as that, it's been terrible. Looking for a job was so hard. I swear to you, I applied to restaurants, at least 5 different restaurants every single day. And I was on Indeed every single day. And it got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm going to look for something else. And I tried to get out of the serving industry. And it did not work. Oh. I had an interview with your managers. And they're like, yeah, this bitch don't know shit.
It's a very different industry from what you're not really upselling. I know with your newest job you are, whereas like my job is strictly customer service and a sales job. It's just 2 very different industries, which it was not your fault. You weren't prepared for that interview.
It was 4 managers, dude, and I was there like, what does that mean? I don't understand. And they'd be like crickets. And I'd just be like, you know what? Like, I'm ready to just push the red button my damn self. My whole experience with COVID was terrible. I had to literally stay indoors through, March 13th up until June? I believe it was like June 6th. And it's like my mom, I live with my mom, so my mom went into like this panic mode of like, it wasn't even healthy. And it frustrated me because I was like, look, Mom, I understand, but you're going overboard. Hella overboard, you know? And I understood. I tried to understand. But I was just like, I'm going insane here. And that's also why I had spent so much of my time at your house.
Well, yeah, I also don't spend that time freaking out. I think I was trying to do the opposite, kind of like zen out. Because I honestly went into panic mode too. However, with my job, I only took 2 weeks off. I went back to work April, I think, 6th. And I've been working ever since. So we got to spend time together here. You know, talking about how it affects you, like relationships at home. How is it affecting you mentally?
Well, I think the problem with me was because I was dealing with something so much bigger. And I was isolated. I couldn't go to work and get my mind off of it for a couple hours. I had to sit at home and deal with my fucking...
It's okay.
Yeah, you go.
I think for me, it affected me in the sense that, you know, I kept thinking about the people that didn't have the resources that we have, you know, like the people that didn't benefit from unemployment or stimuluses, or the people that lost their jobs. Working in customer service, I get to talk to people and they tell me a little bit about their life. And I had a lot of customers telling me, like, I'm making these $100 stretch as much as I could, or like I'm trying my best. It puts things in perspective for you, like, wow, I'm blessed to be where I am and to have what I have. I get to put food on the table. Some people don't.
Not only that, like, suicide rates went up. So many people were just like, fuck this, I'm not going to survive it, so
yeah,
I'll just end it.
The worst part is that it's been taken very lightly by the people in office, you know. I don't think there's been a moment of silence or even, like, respects paid. We also have to think about, you know, like, so many small businesses have been affected. I was driving through LA in October because it was mine and Roger's anniversary, and we had a little trip. And the saddest part, homelessness is I don't know if I can say it at its peak, probably not, but it's at an all-time high. I was reading an article about, you know, kindergarten through 12th graders are the most homeless that they've ever been. And that broke my heart. I actually stayed in downtown LA, which if you don't know, downtown around that area is Skid Row. So you see a lot of homelessness. It was really sad, but it was really eye-opening. You know, it makes you realize we take so many things for granted, you know, because homelessness is not just due to drugs, alcohol, it's due to the economy. going back to the small businesses, I saw that some of my favorite places to go, we go every time we're in LA, we're all shut down. There was literally nothing for us to do. We're like, well, let's go to the beach because our favorite record store was closed. Our favorite museum was closed. The Haunted Museum. Yeah, it was closed.
Yeah.
So yeah, we didn't get to do anything we really hoped to do. But that's okay. We still had fun.
Going back to homeless, I like to go to the art district a lot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best food is out there. But I sat in a car with I don't even know if I could call this person my friend, but I sat in the car with someone, and I remember seeing a homeless man with a beer in his hand, and I was like, hey, just still give him $5, you know?
Because the homeless spend so much time alone, and so much time wandering and thinking and thinking and thinking, they become schizophrenic. There's a lot of mental illnesses, you know, in the homeless community. Can I call it that? A community? Yeah, right?
I don't know. Should we do our research real quick?
Probably. So yes, we can call it a community, but it affects them in so many ways.
You know what hurt me? Was when you would see in the beginning of COVID and they would make them those little white line boxes.
Oh, that was sad.
They're 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
And where this was in Vegas, right?
I think it was like Cashman Field or something like that. I was somewhere near downtown. There was no shelter. It was just a box drawn.
Parking lot, right?
A parking lot. The boxes were drawn on the ground. There was, like, how do they protect themselves? And if you have all this money to build new things in Las Vegas, why not help out the people that need it?
Like that very pointless arch near Stratosphere that nobody cares about.
Yeah, I don't get it. I did want to ask you, how did you hold up during the shutdown?
Terrible. I drank every day.
Okay.
I mean, I think a lot of us did. Honestly, like, I would just buy a pack of beer and just, like, cook dinner or go clean my room. And, yeah, I would go on walks. Yeah, I would go to the backyard and work out a little. Mm-hmm. Ew, that was disgusting.
It's okay.
I bought Violet, Matthew, and Maya, like, all this cool, like, pool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, like, eventually I couldn't entertain them anymore. Like, they were like, let's go to Target. Let's go to Chuck E. Cheese. Oh, Violet wanted to go to Chuck E. Cheese so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do anything about it. So I would just, like, buy them pools. And I would buy them little water balloons, water guns, you know. Like, I tried to keep these kids entertained. But after a while, they were like, we want to go out.
Yeah, I did the same. I don't know if you remember, but the kids were always on my mind. Like, of course, the kids knew what was going on because we did a really good job of telling the kids, like, hey, you got to wash your hands because right now there's a lot of germs. I think we did great at explaining to them kind of what was going on, not to the point where, like, they were scared, but I would constantly do Target trips. Like, okay, let me buy them this puzzle, or let me buy them this board game, or let me see how I could keep them entertained.
Or we would, like, get them bubbles and yoga. You showed me this yoga little book for kids.
Yeah, that was helpful because there were days where Matt was, like, losing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's affected him in the sense that now he has separation anxiety. Just 2 weeks ago, I was dropping him off for school, and he had a panic attack, and that was it. You feel like helpless as a parent, like you see your kid having a panic attack in front of the school, and you're like, what's going on? What did I do? Have I not paid attention enough? Like, what is this? I've never seen him do this. 2 teachers had to walk him to class. But separation anxiety is real. I had to come home. I cried. I definitely cried because I thought that I had done something wrong. I should have woken him up earlier. I should have prepared him for the day. That happens as a parent. But I did research, and I looked at ways to help him, and, he had school the next day, and I prepared him for the day. And maybe it did have something to do with the way I was doing things. So I'm trying my best to also help him, because it's been a tough year for the kids too.
I mean, but I'm thinking, like, he could take a mental day one day,
I couldn't pull him out of school at that moment.
Not at that moment, but, whenever you notice, like, something is off, like, I would just be like, all right, let's just take a mental day, and I'll try to get all your work done with you today at home, if you can. But, like, I feel like that's why you and I get along with parenting, because we know mental.
Kids also have emotions and feelings that they deal with similar to adults.
But there's a word for it. What word would I use? Let's look it up. No, it's fine. Well, whatever. Maybe they just need a break. Maybe they just need a mental day to themselves. And I feel like that's okay.
And I love Matt's school. It's a great school. It is a lot of work, but he's learning so much. Regardless, he's okay now. Some people call me the hippie mom.
I like being called the hippie mom.
I love it too. Everything is a conversation with us. It's important for me to get to know my child, every day. I understand when his emotions are off. When not off, but he's not himself. Like, if he's angry, I'm not going to get mad at him for being angry. I'm going to talk to him like, hey, what's wrong? When he's sad, I noticed yesterday he was very sad, but Matt's sleep schedule's off. So I understood, and I was kind of like, well, let me make dinner, let you play for a little bit, and then you got to go to bed. So, I don't know, I kind of just...
Hit him with the melatonin. I actually researched it. It's really bad for them.
Yeah, that's why I don't give it to him.
Yeah, I'm done giving it to her, too.
Yeah, because it throws their sleep schedule off?
No, it literally gives them anxiety, migraines, a couple more other things. It's really bad for them.
That's terrible.
Yeah. But Violet has a lot of separation anxiety, too. But she's always had it ever since a newborn.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gotten so much worse. I'm not allowed to. So when I put her in the shower, I have to sit in a certain area, and I like to have her towel in the dryer, so that by the time she gets out, she has a nice warm towel, So by the time that I went to go get the towel, she's out of the shower crying, waiting for me.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, dude, like, it's literally 3 seconds. And she's like, I don't care, I don't want to be alone. And I'm just like, oh, this is getting bad.
I've noticed it too, and Violet is my niece. I often think about when she starts school, what is that going to be like for her?
I mean, but she loves being around people, around kids. She loves being around kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking if she sees other kids, maybe she'll be like, oh, okay, these are my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like to spend time with my friends, so I'm going to sit here and, maybe it'll work out. I don't know. We'll see when we get there.
Yeah, and I've learned that if you prepare your child or...
How am I supposed to, though? Like, how do I start trying to get her to have her own time?
So this is what I've learned. You have to prepare your child for drop-offs. And you have to remind them that you're going to be there when they get out of school or daycare or whatever it is. You start the day off by giving them enough time to know that they're going to go somewhere, but that you're going to be there at the end of the day to pick them up. Playing their favorite music in the morning or on the way helps soothe them, and then rubbing the top of their back because it releases serotonin. And that's how you prepare your child for the day. And then you tell them, you make the drop off fast, and that's what I learned from.
So when I do drop offs with her dad, start doing that.
Yeah, start preparing her now, and just so it gets her accustomed to, that time apart. Is there anything during this time in the pandemic that you felt kids were doing better than adults?
I mean, yeah, my daughter keeps her mask on. She doesn't walk around with it on her nose. Off her nose, actually.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Like, all of Matt's kindergarten class is really good at keeping their mask on. I've noticed they don't pull it down to talk, which I don't understand that. Why, as an adult, don't you grasp the idea that the mask is to protect?
You know what, though? But as far as me serving, when people do talk to me and people do, order, like, I take no offense when they don't have their mask on and they're speaking to me or whatever, I'm just like, I'm in that industry where, you're going to be eating. There are people that will put on their mask every single time they speak to me. And I'm just like, oh, shit, like, thanks.
Because
you kind of care about me.
Yeah, because those people are mindful.
Yeah.
I started to wear my mask even through, like, drive-thrus because I feel like it's the right thing to do. And just so I don't offend anyone, I'm talking about the non-believers, the non-maskers, because there are a lot of adults who are extremely responsible. I went to Target yesterday. I'll give you guys an example. I went to Target yesterday. There was this couple. They wore their masks as chin guards. Pretty much didn't cover their nose, didn't cover their mouth. Walked out of Target, threw their masks on the floor. I'm pretty sure that's going to grind anyone's gears, especially when you know that there are people with underlying conditions and, there's nobody who can help them go grab toilet paper or whatever they need, so they got to go out and get it themselves, and, like, here you are walking around like it's almost like a slap in the face, I feel. But
what was it like being quarantined with your partner?
Oh, that was so much fun.
Really?
No.
Shit. I was like,
it was
what?
Not. Okay. Unfortunately, Roger tested positive for COVID not too long ago, less than a month ago. Was it? Yeah. He tested positive. He was really sick, which was really hard to see, because you never want to see, your loved ones sick the way that he was. His symptoms were fevers, body aches, shivers, cough. I think he was in bed for like 7 days. During the time that he was sick, I took care of him like as best as I could. And, I think he has the best like mother and sister-in-law, because you guys also helped take care by dropping off food and dropping off things that we needed, because, we couldn't just go out. Wow. But once he got better, that's when exactly. We had to give each other space. because we were so together 24/7, I was frustrated. And every little thing would just tick me off, and I'd be like, look, you go downstairs and play Call of Duty, play Fortnite. Just go play. I need me time. And I would spend a lot of time listening to music, reading books, I did get I fell into this funk where I didn't leave my bed for 3 days. And as gross as this sounds, I didn't shower for 3 days. I was just so depressed. You know why? I didn't get to see Matt for almost 3 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to see Matt. And I was, that's the longest I've been without him. And if you know me, you know my child is like everything to me, but I was sad.
Okay, well, for me, it was terrible. I ended up getting sick. I didn't test positive for it, but, I had a lot of the symptoms. And I remember we had gone out on a date. We went to Makers and Finders in downtown Summerlin. We had mimosas, breakfast, whatever. And I had to shop for a couple things for this new job. So I was just like buying new shoes, I need a new foundation. And we went to Bath and Body Works to get wallflowers. Mm-hmm. I was like, we should get some candles too. And he was like, okay, well, you choose everything out, whatever scent you want, choose whatever you want. And I started smelling them. I couldn't smell nothing. And I was like, hey, is it strong? He was like, what do you mean? And I was like, is it a strong scent? And he was just like, yeah, it smells good. Do you like it? And I was like, can't smell it. And he was like, let's go. So we went to Smith's, and we went and we got like probably all the medicine that I needed. After that, we went to his house, and I let everyone know, like, look, these are the symptoms. And we had all just gotten together that same weekend at Edgar's, our brother's house. So I kind of let everyone know that I was really close in contact with, like, I'm having symptoms, so if you guys want, go get tested. Mm-hmm. I was waiting for my results, and my mom was kind of just like, you know what, just stay over there. Don't come back to the house. And I was like, I'll just stay in my room. And she was like, no. And I was like, whatever. So I quarantined at his house. And it literally drove me to break up with this man.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel really bad saying that, but I think it was because, like, I'm sick. I feel like crap. The migraines, I don't know if anyone has talked about these migraines, but they're the worst.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do nothing. Your head is just, it feels like it's about to explode.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember he would ask me, like, so it's for dinner tonight, expecting me to cook, feeling like shit. And I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, you should cook, So I would get up, cook dinner, lunch, breakfast, every single day. And it was something that was now being expected. And it irritated me. And then at the end of it, I was starting to feel a little bit better. But he was like, well, let's deep clean the house. And I was like, you know what? I'll definitely help you deep clean the house because I'm about to break up with you in my own head.
Right.
And I got so frustrated with him. And what had happened? I remember I begged him to go out. Because low-key, I knew, I was like, I think it's just a cold. Like, honestly, it doesn't really feel like COVID or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think I didn't have my test results yet, which was very irresponsible of us. But I begged him to go out to the bar with his friends. I was like, please, like, I just need a couple hours. And I remember I made cookies for myself. I smoked a little. And I was happy. I was like, okay, I'm good. And then I remember I was like, hey, so I'm actually going to go to my mom's house. And he was like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah, I gotta go. And I think a week after that is when we had broken up.
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like, you're either going to make it or you're not.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Going from seeing each other once a week to like sometimes even like 3 times a month, and then being with each other 24/7 it's hard on a couple. It was even hard for me. We live together, but we both work and we're apart so many hours of the day. And when we were together all that time, I was like, oh, please, I want to go.
Everything he did irritated me. Everything.
Yeah, I can relate to that. We started our first project together called More Power to Us. It's a website where you get to talk about your trauma and parts of your life that aren't fun to talk about. We started this back in...
It was April.
I think it was May, actually.
It was April.
April?
Because that's when the whole thing had happened. And then that's when you noticed that I was depressed.
Oh, yeah, you needed that. And so we did that for ourselves, but we also did it for, anyone who needed to let out their worries and hurt. And that was our way of not only staying creative,
coping
for sure. We got our mind off of what was going on in the world, which in reality I didn't. Racism is still alive, and it's out. I think, it's out now. People aren't scared to show it anymore. It definitely has to do with, our president making it okay to show it. But yeah, it was fun staying creative.
Yeah, and it helped. It helped a lot. I remember staying up late crying while writing it. But it helped.
It even helped me. Part of the website,
a trigger warning too. It is dark. It is very dark, especially if you've ever endured any of those situations. Those situations being rape, molestation. Mm-hmm. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Abortion, abuse. Did we talk about abuse yet?
I don't. I think we talked about. I think we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's difficult to talk about those things, but it's easier to write them.
Mm-hmm.
I love writing. It's my way of letting things out rather than talking about them. It's not easy for me. If you want to check it out, it's www.morepowertous.com. Feel free to leave comments, feedback. We'd love to hear from you guys. But the reason we created Unwind the talk show is because we wanted to do something completely different from More Power to Us. We wanted it to be fun and more, I guess you could say, upbeat.
Even though this episode hasn't been.
We wanted something different for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Have you learned any skills in the past few months?
I could drink a lot now.
Steph, that's not a skill.
Not only that, I got so into wines and beers, different types of beers. I also have a friend that taught me how to pair wine to help with the taste.
Yes.
So I learned how to make charcuterie boards. Made one for Gabby's proposal. And by the time that I went to go grab some, it was all gone.
I hate the pickles. Even though that's cool, sister. I mean, the wine that's probably a skill. That's cool. I'm a wine connoisseur myself. Here's the thing. We don't buy the most expensive wines because, like,
the Unshackled isn't bad.
It's not bad, but we don't buy the most expensive wines. But we love it. What's your favorite, white or red?
So right now I'm into the Saint Michelle, the Riesling,
which is a white wine.
It's a white wine. Who is that?
I think it's EOS.
Oh, is it? Because they just legit called me. Oh yeah, they just called me. What y'all want? Anyway,
I can't work out right now. I'm trying to. Yeah,
I'm trying to get thick.
I'm trying to undo my thickness.
But I'm going more towards the one that's not sweet Riesling. I'm going more towards like the better tasting ones.
A dry Riesling.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm starting to get into reds.
So I've learned a skill. I have learned to write better. I learned to create a website, guys. I've also become a tech nerd, which is pretty cool, but like this setup that we have right now.
Oh, Gabby.
Besides the cables, Roger figures out all the cables. And yeah, I'm not good at like organizing that stuff. But
you know what though? I research a lot too. I could tell you anything and everything about a well.
Okay. Tell me about a well.
Well, what do you know?
I mean, what do you know?
Everything. Almost everything.
Okay.
So a well's whole purpose in life is just for the ecosystem. So they'll live up to like 100 years. And then they get so tired of living and so old and worn out that they just sink to the bottom of the ocean and start to decay. All the small animals, crustaceans, what would you call them? Just really small animals all like feed off of them. And that's just their whole point in life. It sounds very depressing, but
that's a tragic but beautiful death.
And they're the biggest. I believe they're the biggest mammal. I don't give a. But yeah, that's insane. Like, and if you ever look at well videos, dude, they're fucking huge.
They are huge.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I'm glad you learned that.
I know a lot about wells.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. Tell me about it more later.
Got it. If anyone tries to fact check me, I'm going to fight you because I know my shit. Also,
okay.
I have another very interesting one for you.
Yes.
The same type of skin on your butthole is the same skin on your lips.
That's interesting.
Because it's both ends.
Stephanie. Well, okay then. Butthole lips.
You do have butthole lips, though.
Okay. But I did want to ask you, I kind of know how you self-cared. Your self-care is drinking wine and cooking. Cooking. Those are your ways of self-care. What do you think mine are?
Getting lost in work. Getting lost in what interests you. Because you go in and you get annoying, but because she would call me and she would be like, you're fired. And I would just be like, "Aye, bitch, like, fire me."
No, but here's the thing. Yes, I'm very passionate about my work. Steph is the opposite.
Procrastinator.
No, it's not even
a procrastinator. I just don't do nothing.
Exactly. She's just like, so what should we talk about? Yeah, just like, this. And that's it. That's all she will say. What should the website look like? Just leave it like that. It looks good. It looked like shit.
See, but my way of liking things is very simple.
And mine are too. And the website looked terrible. It looks better now, guys. I fixed it. I've taken my time in quarantine to better our website. That's one way of self-care, but I have two things that I always do.
You fuck around with your plants.
No. I forget to water them.
Vinyls.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know how many I have, but I think it's closer to like 30.
Should I guess? Oh, you pray.
I believe in aliens.
Wow.
But you know what's crazy? I've been very lost spiritually for the longest time, and I'm trying to figure it out. I'll keep you guys updated. Normally we would be sitting here drinking wine, but we started early today. But we'll go ahead.
She made me wake up at 9 and she wasn't even awake at 9.
Here's the thing. I was having a dream. When I have a dream, I don't want it to be interrupted.
My alarm went off at 8 a.m. and I snoozed it and it kept going on until 9:40 and I was like, wow, she still hasn't hit me up. I guess it's my turn to hit her up.
Okay, but let's talk about this wine. We recently tried the Snoop Dogg 19 Crimes Cali Red wine.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
I do too.
It's very corky. You taste that dry taste. It's good. Whatever.
It gets you fucked up.
That it does. And here's the thing. Nobody leaves me alone about this. You don't chug wine. You sip on it. So when we have wine night, you're not supposed to tell me to chug it.
I don't chug it.
You're supposed to sip on it.
Like, if you want me to sip on it, give me some cheese, give me some meat, and some bread and olive oil. And we could nibble, and we can sip.
Well, okay then. I'll use my charcuterie board next time.
I got her this charcuterie board. I do these really cool gift baskets when I love you. And they're just filled with all your favorite things. But they're really cool because a lot of thought goes into them.
They're beautiful.
Thought, T-H-O-T.
I'm going to rate it 15 out of 10. Do recommend.
Mm-hmm. That's why I will be the maid of honor.
Absolutely.
I will legit.
If you don't procrastinate on that too.
No, dude, I'm ready for the bachelorette party.
Why can't we go to Mexico?
I told you Mexico. I had said Mexico and you were like, but I don't want a stripper.
I don't want a stripper. That's not my way of like partying. Okay, whatever.
You don't have to touch him. He'll touch you.
Oh, God. No.
We hope that you all had a very happy new year.
Y'all. We hope that y'all had
or a very, maybe 2020 was a good year for you. You found yourself, you built a business. I don't know, you became more aware of your traumas. I know I did. Still haven't worked on them, but we out here trying. And I don't want to say 2021 is going to be our year, but
let's just walk in silently and let's hope it goes
avoid
well.
all eye contact.
Do you have a New Year's resolution?
I kind of just don't want anyone to know about it because I don't want anyone to come back and be like, remember what you said in the beginning of this year? And I'm about to be like, yeah, bitch, and...
Okay, I didn't do a New Year's resolution.
I didn't either. But...
I prayed.
Oh.
I prayed on New Year's Eve. Instead of making 12 wishes with the grapes, I prayed 12 different
Were they
grapes.
Frozen grapes, though?
No.
Then you didn't do it right.
Every episode, we're going to go ahead and give you guys a song of the week each. Give us your song of the week.
You didn't even let me know that you were going to do this. I have to find one.
I had to surprise you.
Alright, you know what? I'm going to be basic, but I just started listening to this last night while I was in the shower.
Okay.
Good Days by SZA.
No, that's a good song. You can't even say basic.
Yeah, but it's like everyone's listening to it right now because it just came out.
So? That's even better. All right, I'm going to give you guys a gem. Giveon. Heartbreak Anniversary. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. It's been fun.
You made me cry.
You're not ready to.
I know I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a lot.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. We will be bringing out shows twice a month. So please keep an eye out. Okay, thank you, guys.
Have a good day.
And,
be safe out there. Be safe out there.
Happy New Year!